Hey everybody, welcome to the Photog Experience. I'm here with no other than Lee, your cruise director, and he's been so kind to just take time out of his busy day to do this interview with us. So I'm super excited, super enthused about this whole thing. And so we're just gonna sit down and have a conversation and just talk cruising, talk tech, and just talk about life. So yeah, hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, thank you for, I know you're super busy. You have so many different things that you have to do, so I really appreciate you taking the time for this.
Well, I appreciate you inviting me because
Yeah.
it gives me a moment to sit down and relax a little bit.
Exactly. So most of y'all know who Lee is. He is blowing up on social media, which is fantastic. So what made you get into the whole YouTube social media thing?
Well, I was like a long time listener, first time caller up until recently. I'm from, the generation of people that grew up with the internet.
Yeah.
And YouTube has been a big part of my life. Like it's the platform that I choose to consume my media, whether it's vlogs or how-tos or trailers, reviews, you name it. So YouTube has been a platform that I have utilized and been inspired by for such a long time. And I've seen so many incredible people in the travel space boom on there. Lost Leblanc is one that I'm binging right now. Christian Leblanc, a Canadian guy, went out to Southeast Asia with a GoPro and now has like $1 million business that he's managed, an empire, I'll call it.
It's the opportunities that you can get from YouTube. It's ridiculous. Like if you're able to get a steady amount of subscribers and steady amount of watch hours, that can be a full-time position for some people.
On its own, hello.
And it's crazy.
Yeah. For me, I'm not looking to build an empire like that. However, the platform that I've enjoyed so much, I'd always wanted to join it.
Exactly, yeah.
I love photography. I love making videos. I would say I'm far from being a master at it, but the passion is there and the want to share experience and to tell stories and to maybe put together a bit of a passion project, but a cool edit now and again.
Exactly, yeah.
Has been a long time burning in here, and only recently I've really stepped into that to create a channel to commit to making videos and churning out content.
Yeah.
So yeah, my Facebook I've had for a while. When I was first promoted to be a cruise director, I was advised, hey, having a social media presence will really help you to build a rapport with those guests that have sailed with you and those that are looking to join a cruise that you will be sailing on.
Yeah.
So a long time ago, I started my Facebook page thinking this is going to be my mom, a couple of school friends, and more like a diary of what I'm doing and a platform for them to keep up with my adventures.
Exactly, yeah.
I never thought that there'd be like 54,000 people on there, which is crazy.
That's amazing.
And then Instagram is an extension of that.
Yeah.
Facebook is by far my biggest platform.
Okay, yeah.
My Instagram, I think, is at 24,000 people, which is a lot of people.
That's a lot of people.
I sometimes imagine them all in one room, and instead of me posting a photograph, me just like being in a room and holding it up and showing 24,000 people, which is nuts.
Exactly.
And then my YouTube channel, which is, like I say, more of a passion project than anything. I have a very exclusive group of just over 5,000 people, which is still an incredible amount.
Amazing, yeah.
I do dream of getting one of those silver play button plaques, but I'm a long time away from that.
Yeah.
And that's not the reason why I'm doing it. And if I get there one day, hey, I'd love it.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, that's my love and my passion for.
I still remember, I've been following Lido Loca.
Oh, Tony's great.
Yeah, Tony and Jenny since the beginning. Since they had like a couple hundred subscribers.
Yeah.
I've been there since the beginning. And I remember when he first got his silver play button, he was so excited. And that's one thing I love about the cruising community with YouTube, with travel community in general, is it's very kind of tight fitting.
Yes.
To where like you grow up with these people, and like Piero DJ.
Piero DJ.
Like
I cruised with them a couple of times.
Yes, they're amazing. And I've talked to them a few times, like personally outside of YouTube, and then I'm part of this like YouTube creator Facebook group.
I love that.
And all we do is talk about strategy. We're actually called the Game Changers, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
And it's an opportunity for a lot of people to just be like-minded and have fun together. Love that.
And collaboration is so important as well. And I've seen a lot of the creator community doing special group cruises. I remember seeing one recently on a different cruise line, which I won't mention.
Exactly.
But I did really enjoy the start of my career when I cruised the Norwegian fjords. But they went over and they did a group cruise there, and so that the creators could get together, but also the followers and supporters of the channels could come together.
So many people on that group cruise.
Yeah.
Like most of the main people that did that group cruise. I follow all of them.
Me too.
Like Josh Hocum and all of them. Like, it's just...
Josh needs to be a cruise director.
He does.
Every time I see Josh.
Yeah, I don't like seeing him because I started following him when he was just beginning as well. And every cruise, I was like, okay, gotta watch every single video, gotta watch it. And he would be an amazing cruise director.
Yeah.
Like, he has the passion. He has the energy.
Yeah.
Because that's one thing, like, with you, you have to have a lot of energy to do this.
Yes, you do. Or a lot of caffeine and sugar.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah, no, Josh would be great. Now, from the inside looking out, he's also got a beautiful position as a prolific creator within the cruise space.
Exactly.
Where he doesn't have to sacrifice that time at home with family, with loved ones. And
now that he's newly married.
Hello. And he can live the best of both worlds there.
Exactly.
As a host of his own platform. He can pick and choose when he cruises, when he doesn't, and he can divide his time equally. Whereas if he was a cruise director, that's a huge commitment.
Exactly.
So, I mean, maybe Josh has looked. I don't know. I haven't seen Josh in a long time. I think I've had one cruise with Josh when I was very, very new.
Yeah.
When I was irrelevant and he was super important. It was a strange balance. But these people out there, that I think there's a handful. I think Tony would do wonderful things as a cruise director. I think Mark from the cruise world would do wonderful things. Josh, there's a handful of people out there that would be able to carry this job. But they're in such a wonderful position where they are master of their own platforms. So there's a little bit of their life that they have. That I'm a little envious, I'm not going to lie.
How long is your contract for? Is it 8 months?
This has recently changed. Here at Carnival, we now do 4 months on as cruise director, and we get 2 months off. So we do 4 on and 2 off, which is wonderful. And allows us to divide our time for family and friends and loved ones. And if we plan around, you can strategically have the best of both worlds.
Get to see Geraldine.
Yeah, that's it. She's going to be working on the Sunrise in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, okay, awesome.
So my vacation is going to be a cruise on the Sunrise.
That's awesome.
Which is really cool because I've only taken one Carnival cruise before. So I'll get my red card.
That's awesome.
And I get to go over and live my best life over there.
That's awesome. Now, since we are both techie people, what's some of the equipment that you use to create your videos?
This is one of the most exciting questions anyone has ever asked me in an interview. Yes. You're asking me what's in my camera bag.
Exactly. What's in his camera bag?
There's so many videos out there about this. I have been a hoarder of gear, and I've been trying out different cameras along the way. So, if I'm honest with you, despite all of my investment, my go-to camera tends to be between my iPhone 13 mini and the GoPro Hero 11.
Oh, okay.
Because they're super convenient.
Definitely. Yeah.
They're pocketable. They're also quite robust. And if I'm honest with you, if I drop them, I'm less likely to have a breakdown. Yeah. Also in my camera bag, I've got a Canon R5. Which is my, that's my camera. Yeah. One day I aspire to work in the photography or video creation space when I'm done on ships. So I invested in gear. Yeah. But the reality of vlogging on the R5, even if you're using one of the smaller RF lenses rather than an L series lens, it's still a big rig. Yeah. And I've done it. Yeah. Towards the end of my last contract, I did it, but I found that guests were quite intimidated seeing me carrying such a huge. And I had it on a Ronin. RS3 mini stabilizer
Oh, goodness, yeah.
with a Rode mic stuck on top. And folk were like, oh, we can't disturb him. We can't speak to him. He's busy. And I saw it as a little bit of a social block, a barrier.
Yeah.
And I've got to respect my job.
Mm-hmm.
When I've got a GoPro, people are just like, oh, he's just making a video on his GoPro. That's fine. That's not scary.
Yeah.
So my go-tos are my phone and my GoPro 11. Very tempted by the 12, but sticking by my guns with the 11 for now. I've also got I've got an Insta360 X3.
Yeah, I remember when you first got that and you started taking photos and video of that of the ship.
So cool.
Yeah.
It's so cool, but I found that the files that produces, they take a lot of work, and I don't have a ton of time, as you mentioned. So the care and attention that those files require from me are a little challenging. The single lens mode is great when I can just use it like an action cam, like the GoPro. So I do like it for versatility, and the invisible selfie stick is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I've also got the Go 3.
Okay, yeah. The little tiny one?
The little tiny one that you can wear on a pendant. And I love that. And I do kind of flip between them. But the go-tos are the phone and the GoPro.
Yeah, that's awesome. So you said photography and videography. So what kind of photos do you like to shoot?
So when I first got into photography, it was portraits.
Okay. Yeah.
I was all about photographs of people. And working in entertainment, I've got an endless supply of singers and dancers that need like headshots and portraits taken for their for their promotion or for their websites or to submit to get jobs.
Yeah.
Then I got into taking photographs of the shows.
Oh yeah.
Which was great. But I got stung. I didn't realize with a mirrorless camera, the refraction of lasers doesn't happen because it doesn't have the mirror anymore, and your sensor is super vulnerable.
Yep.
I learned that the hard way. So I had to send a camera off to repair from Canon, and they did it for me, which was great.
Okay, that's good.
And very unusual.
Yeah.
But it scared me. So
that's scary.
My photos of the shows, I've kind of dialed back a little bit working with a mirrorless system.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that if you take pictures of the shows, but I was just in an unfortunate place. I think it was a very rare thing that was going to happen, but it did. And then during the pandemic, I got into like landscapes and nature. So I'm now like a jack of all trades, master of none. But I take pictures of everything. I don't discriminate.
Yeah. What lenses do you have?
Oh my word.
Oh goodness.
Collector over here.
Yeah.
All the gear and no idea. My go-tos, I've got the 70-200 RF for my R5.
Yep.
I've got a little 16 RF. I've got a 50. I've got the 15 to 35.
Okay.
Which kind of covers me for a lot of the photos or the videos that I'm going to shoot on there. But my prized possession in that whole kit, and I was a little bit of a snob and elitist and scared to go third party.
Oh, yeah.
And anybody that's into photography, do it.
Yeah.
I got the Samyang 85mm 1.8, and that thing cost me $600, which is a lot of money, but compared to some of the lenses
compared to Canon,
and that thing, I use it for everything.
Yeah.
I use it for portraits. I use it for pictures of the shows. I'll take it out. Yes, you do have to move with your feet and frame physically rather than with a zoom. But the joys of that prime, that fixed lens, the separation I can get, the speed of the lens.
Yes.
It's also quite a big element on the front, so it looks quite impressive. I love that thing.
Yeah, you have to have the speed when you're doing any sort of low light situations. You have to have that. Yeah.
And reverting to shutter speed and everything else to control. And another thing I learned was not being too proud. For the longest time, I was like, I shoot full manual, and I am successful. And it wasn't until I started to watch a lot of content online where, really established photographers in the YouTube space were saying, listen, if you need to go to aperture priority or, shutter speed priority, do it. Yep. Do it. No one is going to look at your image and go, that is so much better because they shot it full manual. They just look at the final product.
I shoot in aperture priority.
Hello. Me too. 90% of my shots are in aperture priority or if I'm shooting the shows and it's got varying lights and I'm wanting to freeze motion,
Exactly.
I'll go to shutter speed priority.
Exactly.
But yeah, I put my manual hat down and started shooting for the final image rather than my ego.
Exactly, yeah. And in some way, there's still manual part of it. It's not all just automatic.
You've got to be aware of what you're dealing with and the end result you're looking to achieve.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so, what is a piece of gear that you don't have that you want?
Oof. Okay. So, the Hero 12 aside, because when something new comes out, I'm like, ooh, give me one of those.
Have you looked at the DJI Action 4?
I haven't done comparisons yet, and I've got to say a huge shout out to David Manning. And David Manning is a brilliant creator that compares a lot of these action cams. That's where he kind of found his niche.
Yeah.
Over in California, I cruised with some of his friends, and I actually won one of his competitions on his YouTube channel, which was so awesome. Because I live in England, there was techs and customs things that got in the way of me. Anyway, that aside, Dave Manning does a lot of comparisons, and I listen to this man religiously. I haven't dug into the Action 4 yet.
It looks beautiful.
Now you just, my boy's going to start bleeding again.
One of the coolest things about the Action 4 is for anybody that does underwater, it has an automatic red filter on it.
Wow.
So as soon as, if anybody knows, if you're using a GoPro or anything like that, as soon as you go into the water, red doesn't go through the water as well. And so the photos look very, very blue and all this other stuff. And so if you put a red filter on there, it looks more natural. And so it automatically happens. Like, as soon as you go in the water, out of the water, like it does it.
It just knows.
Yeah, flawless.
I'm going to have to look into it. So, other than that, now once I need to stop. My gas, in both senses, but gear acquisition syndrome was pretty strong. And I'm just breaking that habit because I've got a wedding to pay for soon. So
exactly. Which, congratulations.
Thank you. But I need to survive. And a part of that is not spending money on toys as much. But things that are tempting me now are other things like lighting.
Yes.
Key lights and practical lights for my videos to kind of establish a bit of a set for talking head stuff that I might do for my cabin. Maybe monitors. But depending on the scale of what I'm doing, I need to calm down and just commit to the content. And I think it's a big thing that maybe, your viewers will need to consider as well.
Exactly.
That you can have the best gear in the world, but if you're not using it to create the content, quality content, then you've spent a lot of money for a lot of things that are going to live in your closet, in your cupboard, on your shelf.
Yeah, exactly.
So my focus right now is going to be what I'm doing, what I'm making, and then when I'm able to focus on production elements more, then I'll revert back to the R5 and my sound stuff and my lighting setup. But right now it's silly things like light tubes and key lights.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what's tempting me at the minute.
Lighting is a beast.
Yeah.
You have to understand how light falls in different things, and then you have to have the main light and the key light and the hair light and then accent light and practical light, and I think you can do it. I think that's awesome.
I'll get there, but I just need to remember and reel it in and be like, okay, why are your people watching your content?
Exactly.
And for me, my audience is folk that have cruised or people that are wanting to cruise, and then they're not necessarily photo and video people. And my mum said it to me. She said to me, she's like, you're buying all of these cameras, but your friends would watch your video if you were filming on an old GoPro Hero 5 or whatever, the silver ones with a button on front. They're watching for where you are. They want to live vicariously through your content and just see you living your best life. And everything else is a bonus. Worry less about the production value where you're at right now. So, Mom, I'm listening.
Right. But it's hard to tell a techie that. It really is.
When it's a passion.
Exactly. And I just started, I just put a YouTube studio in my basement.
Yes, you did.
My wife let me have a little corner of the basement and put up a nice brick wall, and it looks really good.
I love
really
that.
Yeah, really happy with that. So I just want to thank you for just having the time for this, man. I really do.
Like I said, You broke me out of my rhythm.
Exactly.
I get to sit down, and it's not often that I get to talk about tech
Exactly.
gadgets and gear and making videos and taking photographs. So
Yeah, because your life is on a very tight schedule. It seems like.
it really is. And here you go. Here's a bonus for you. A lot of people ask me about workflow and production and how I squeeze that into my days as a cruise director. And my secret was editing on my phone.
Oh, okay.
For the longest time, my early videos were created, recorded on various different devices, loaded into my iPhone, and then cut in iMovie.
Okay, yeah.
And I feel like I've learned a lot of like secret hacks for manipulating iMovie, because it does have its restrictions. It's quite an entry level editing suite, if you will.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to start making just little videos for the geeks out there, the
That'd
tech
be
people.
awesome. Yeah.
On how I mastered iMovie and how I manipulate it to get the best possible bang out of my Came Free on Your iPhone book. Then I moved to Final Cut for iPad.
Okay.
And I was editing, gives you a little more tools and a little more freedom. But this contract, since I've come back to work, I tried to travel as light as you can when you have bags and bags and bags of gear.
Yeah.
But I brought my MacBook Pro with Final Cut on there, because then you've got your plugins and you can really take control. So my workflow is slowly running away from me, as did my gear acquisition. But yeah, it was a question that people were asking, how are you making videos so frequently and how do you squeeze it in? And it was remembering that sharing your story is more important than having the fanciest edits out there.
One thing that I try to tell my followers is that the best camera you have is the one with you.
I hear it all the time.
So a lot of my travel photography that I do on my Instagram and my Facebook is all just done with my phone.
Yeah.
Like, very rarely do I take my DSLR anywhere.
Yeah.
Just because, like, the quality of a phone nowadays is just amazing.
Hello.
Especially with the new 15.
46 megapixels is that?
48.
48. I robbed it of 2. I'm sorry, Tim. I'm sorry, Tim.
Tim. Just
But yeah, like the quality that you can get, the sort of intelligence in the computational photography there, the sort of like fake separation, focus, the balancing of light, and cinematic modes, stabilization. Why wouldn't you?
Exactly. The computational photography alone, trying to get the dynamic range between, I have a beautiful sunset over here, but I want this to be in light as well.
Yeah.
Well, with iPhones, you can do that.
You don't have to do HDR, composite photography.
Exactly.
It's honestly, it makes me mad. I'm low-key furious that my iPhone, what I can do in one click, takes me ages to dial in settings, but that's a part of the passion side of photography and the mastering of that craft. But I have had times where I've had my DSLR and I've put it down and taken out my iPhone just for the ease and the guarantee that you've got the shot.
Exactly.
Yeah, definitely.
I love it, man. And it's just one thing that I do for a career is I'm a photographer and videographer.
Living the dream.
Living the dream, and I love it. Like, we have on our floor, we have multiple floors in our company. We always say we are the fun floor. So we get to do all the fun things. I have a studio where we just have a bunch of different shoots, and I love it. Like, it's really cool. I love it.
It's really cool.
Yeah.
For me, I would love to go into that creative space once I get done on cruise ships, and it's not in the foreseeable.
Exactly.
But if I had to dream out loud, when I finish cruising, I would love to move into that. And whether I'm a freelance photographer doing portraits, whether it's like couples portraits, family portraits, school portraits, anything, and then dabbling in video. If my YouTube channel took off, and Chris Nelson, our vice president of entertainment within the company, he said to me, Lee, I'm really excited watching your YouTube channel. I was blown away that the man watches anyway.
That's awesome.
Chris, if you see this, hi. But
awesome.
He said to me, he's like, I think it's really cool what you're doing. And it was nice to know that I have the trust of the Shoreside team, that they don't worry that I'm going to say something wrong, or that I can work as like a sort of unofficial semi-ambassador. and still make videos and be creative. And he said to me, he said, hey, maybe one day this could be a platform for you for future. And I was like, hold on, stop. I was like, you're okay with that? And he was like, well, I think it's really cool, and this is the world now. He's like,
well, it's giving him awareness too.
And it is kind of cool, like unofficial, I guess, promotion in a way for the company. But yeah, Chris was like, it could be a really cool like end game, like retirement project for you. Of course, he was like, we want you to stay with us for as long as we can have you.
Yeah.
But who knows what you could do with it? He was like, please run with it. Happy people do great work.
Exactly.
We want you fulfilled. We want you stimulated,
that's awesome.
professionally and creatively.
Yeah.
So that was really cool to know that I had the support of our show side team, the most important man in the department.
In the future, when if YouTube does make it a career, what would you want to be a creator on? Would it be on photography and videography? Or would it be traveling and cruising?
Yeah, I think I have to honor the roots of this channel and this space. Maybe because I can't talk like brands or review tech, and very rarely do I. I mean, for a little while I was like, I want this camera, it's awesome. And none of that was sponsored or endorsed, and it's my opinions and not, anything to do with the company. It would have to be cruise and travel. It would have to be cruise, travel, and fun.
Yeah.
Maybe with a little geeky stuff on the side, but my main focus would most definitely have to be cruise, travel, and fun. And I think, talking of fun, we've got some fun people about to join us. So I think we're at time.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. And friends, before we go, like, subscribe, share this. I'm Lee, your cruise director, if you want to join me. But it was great spending time with you. Thanks for watching. And we've got more great content coming, okay?
See y'all later.
Bye for now.